Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Hold It! Ace Attorney. It's been a little while since we last played Ace Attorney. We played through the entire trilogy a little less than a month ago. And we took a break, and now Ace Attorney Investigations has just released. So, we're going to be playing through 1 and 2 across the coming weeks, as well as a bunch of other games that are coming out. And then after this, we're going to take another break, and then we're going to hop into Apollo Justice and The Great Ace Attorney. So yeah, and it kind of works out because this is actually next in the timeline from the last Phoenix Wright game. So, hey, we're right in the middle of the story. Let's get to it, huh? 9:40 a.m.? No, it's 10:40 a.m. actually. But I did wake up at 9 a.m. though. That part is true. But I had to eat and I had to do some laundry. But now we're here. You're just watching Stipple's Archive. Shout out to the VOD Frogs. HD, of course. Yes. Let's see how it goes. I'm very interested. I know very little about this collection. What's new, what even Investigations is. I have no idea. We're still going by the turnabout. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? You're gonna go back to old me. Okay, thank you, Just. What are you watching, Persona? That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Okay, I don't think we know either of these characters. Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. This is Edgeworth's office, by the way. No matter what cost. Oh! Ooh, who's this? Pretty boy. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Aw, thanks, Just. That was so fun. Can't wait for the DLC. Which I did buy last night as well. March 14, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. There he is! It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. We're back! We're back! Yeah, I think it's that guy. That Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. Yeah, you know he hasn't. The door's unlocked. Uh-oh. Edgeworth is gonna be the one to discover the murder. Detective Gumshoe? We're really starting off with Edgeworth getting framed for murder? Right off the bat? Right off the rip? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood? That looks so quirky. What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze! Oh shit, he's still here! Identify yourself. Shut up! You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? You think I haven't been shot at by Wright before? I know your type. Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. He just ran. Oh, Edgeworth just had to give him the old stare down. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. Oh, look, we got the King of Prosecutors Award. We got the thing. We got the safe behind the thing. The tea set. So accurate. Oh, he dropped the gun. Okay, interesting. What's this? Ooh, my evidence. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Unlike some people. That's such a cute little icon. Look at him. He looks so happy. Too bad he's dead. Well, it seems like the guy who killed him was a prosecutor. Or he was a prosecutor. There's bloody handprints there on the right. Interesting, okay. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well, please continue your investigation. He's doing the hand wave, the hand wiggle. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay, sir? There he is! There he is, our boy! Oh, fuck, I love the animation of him going up and down like that. Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct. And the one they assigned to handle this murder for the case. This murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Yeah, look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I mean, this is what it looked like after I had that party with Mr. This is the first I've seen your office in disarray, sir. I'll say the culprit soiled my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Well, sounds like you're really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some sexy investigating. No, just investigating. Right. Mildly erotic, at least? Agreed. Our first, at least PG-13. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small it is, if we have to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched into the forefront of my mind. Sexy investigate, I'm all in! Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Is it really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office? I got the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. You know how many people want you behind bars or dead? Too many people to count, honestly, sir. I don't know, you make so many enemies. Like, god damn. I'd basically retire if I were you. Head to Hawaii or something. You know, those Hawaiian hookers, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, they're crazy. They'll do anything you... Gumshoe, please. Sorry. I mean, you can't really say it's a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? I like that. What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become very clear to you. Logic? Is that like a... Is that a kind of computer or something? What? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So, how do you use it? First, I recall the information we've gathered with L1, then I connect the two together with triangle. What are you... with shapes and letters? What are you talking about, Mr. Edgeworth? L1? What does that mean? That looks so good. Alright. Office. keys. Connect! Shoop! Doing things my way. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would have to be it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Here you go. It's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. That's exactly what I was thinking, sir. 100%. I didn't just take your opinion like a certain Mr. Right would, you know. Must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? The killer's goal. Okay. So we're connecting puzzle pieces to put together the crime scenes, and that's the whole gameplay loop? I wonder if we're gonna get actual courtroom stuff. Like, are we gonna have court dates and everything, or I don't know. I guess we'll see. You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Even though I just found out what it is. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. If I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sure! Begin investigation. Oh, shit. So I can move around, right? The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. When I want to examine something, I simply press X when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just press triangle, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Why wasn't it Gumshoe as the ace investigator? Something to try later if I have the free time, I suppose. Alright. Look at me go! Look at that Edgeworth run. Of course he would run like that. Gun. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Could enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know! It's the kind of thing bad guys use to shoot people! I was issued the exact same model, I think. So it's a detective's gun, okay. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really... oops. I'm already fucking switching lines. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. You could maybe shoot yourself in the foot. Not that I've done that before, but it could happen. Don't check my socks. They're all bloody. But now that I think about it, you do this model around the precinct a lot, sir. You do see this model. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I don't recognize it. The same type of revolver as the ones used by the precinct's detectives. Bloody hands, bloody thing. When's the Gumshoe Rule 34 game Gumshoe? That's a good question. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir! Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir, except for those bloody handprints and the broken vase. I guess there's a lot to report on. And yet, there's something out of ordinary right in front of my eyes. Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, I should look around a bit more.
Maybe it's the dead body and the blood handprints, but...
How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. And I never... That's a good thing my steel samurai door was spared any harm. That's his stage name in pornos. Yeah, that's his Pornhub profile. Speaking of which, I still haven't really sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? I don't know much about it myself, but... The hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai. And his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like The Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and The Nickel Samurai. Along with a deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show gives presents. You sure know a lot about it, sir. Are you sure you're not some kind of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let's return to the investigation. I can examine it again? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a gift, wasn't it? Oh, it's your trophy, the Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, well, that's something only I can determine for myself. That sounds slick, sir. Well, I'm gonna have to quickly run to the bathroom for 10 minutes. Excuse me. Fortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Yeah, watch out for teacup fragments there, sir. That killer's going to pay. This tea set was really expensive. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It cost more than your whole month's paycheck. What? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Still up with, pulling Gumshoe down for all the work he puts in. They finished photographing the body, and it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest till I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Well, there's blood on his penis. There's blood on his hand. There's this thing. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was actually gonna say, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, hey, look! It says gum! Upside down. Gumshoe? Are you the murderer? In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think you'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know how to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press the R1 button to open my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. Probably a good idea for me to make a habit of checking the facts often. Right. Gumshoe! I don't believe it. I packed those files in these shelves so tight. That's not even an earthquake can make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem, to be sure. Well, hey, Flopper. I think he's sleeping. Yeah, you know, he's just taking a nap. He spilled some ketchup on his cock and balls, but it's fine. Well, once the investigation's over, we'll put them back on the shelf. That's not... it says gum right here. Okay. Not his balls. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink! Let's take a look inside. Buddy Faith, detective. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Yeah, most definitely. Details. No balls. No balls, Luigi. Killer's gold. The victim was a detective. And the revolver. Boom! The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yeah, sure. I love fondling dead people. It's my pastime, actually. Excuse me, pal. Let's see what we got here. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, this guy's got a huge cock. Wow. Oh, he's also wearing a gun holster. It appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta look real carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the R stick to rotate an object, but there's no such thing as a bad angle. Use L1 and R1 to zoom in and out and get into the nitty-gritty. Hey, Edgeworth, you want to see me hit the gritty? I'll show you.
Yeah, is there something in the barrel? Ooh.
Looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? There's no proof for now, but that is a district possibility. Can I look at it again? Sorry. Oh, was that the only thing I could examine? No. I think it's so easy to take a life with just a pull of that trigger. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Well, unless you like them, Mr. Edgeworth, then my spine is gone. Oh, but I love the ones they use at the track and field meet to stunt races. If you take off before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, Detective. Now that you mention it, whenever I finish first, I always wind up in last place. I'll pay 50. Anything else interesting to look at on this thing?
I can't see any bullets in there. Can you guys see? Can you guys see the bullets? I can't see any bullets in there.
That's such a stupid gag. It's such a stupid gag, like looking down the barrel, but I love it. It's so silly. I can look at this again? The victim's badge. It probably fell out of his pocket during the struggle. Imagine dying by a book. Well, I always take extra care to make sure mine doesn't fall out of my pocket, sir. Oh. I always have it down at the bottom of my super deep pockets without fail. Is it possible that he has never taken his tattered coat to the cleaners? Your files are over... your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell out during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Signs of a struggle, eh? Aw, I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you're away. I mean, this just rendered all that time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Wait, but... Edgeworth, I'm sorry, but when we started, you said you'd hoped that he kept your room clean. That's a contradiction, my friend. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Edgeworth, goddamn! Yeah, if any of the files are missing, that's a good point. Guess this is all about... Oh, we're gonna find out about... We should send the body to... Jim!
Oh, hey! Hey, look, it's the murderer! You guys remember the murderer? Yeah, we have our own Gumshoe and Edgeworth right in our chat. Why, oh why? How could this happen to a guy like you? Well, Detective Gumshoe, we found our murderer. Cuff him. Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body! Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure, just in a bloodstained suit, pal.
Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes I am! Jacques Portsman, prosecutor! Jim here was my partner in crime, busting.
Well, I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Oh, what a coinky dink! I have never been in here before.
Yes, that's correct. It's really a wonder that I don't recognize your voice when you were holding me at gunpoint.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Yeah, instantly. He's trying to pin it on us. Knew it!
Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not! I know how things work around here! High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door.
That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip the whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? Yeah, so, well, there you go. So the only one who could get in here was me. Gumshoe.
Gumshoe, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, wait, that means... I'm the murderer! Oh, fuck, I never suspected it was me!
So it was you then! You're Jim's killer!
No way, pal, you've got it all wrong!
Everyone, calm down. Look at that smile. I hope he develops a brain disease. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right. My mistake. I tend to get a little hot-headed sometimes. I didn't try to, lump it all on you and get away with it. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay?
Yeah, work to put you behind bars, you infant.
Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
No.
A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on, then. It's your room, after all.
Thank you. I intend to.
I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there!
Sir?
Okay. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. Edward is just like, hurry up, please. I should probably give them some space. The ancient Chinese water torture technique. Hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to this relaxing sofa.
That thing looks like a billion times softer than my mattress at home.
Can I shit on it too? Just for a little while, sir. Detective Gumshoe. You know I can't allow that. No dogs on the couch, as they say. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. Hey, you're right, sure. I'm gonna work real hard and be a trooper to the end. And once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. Yeah, your jacket, sure. What you doing on the floor? Must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing the round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot your ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What's behind it? Oh, that's Edgeworth's little safe. What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here. Yeah, well, like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective? There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Oh, you're really gonna talk about Phoenix Wright like he's your fucking ex-boyfriend? Come on. But I have my own methods and I'll conduct this investigation my way. Ow. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my detective skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. Well, the gun only shot once. Mind if I tell you? It's the gunshot. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press triangle with a contradiction. When I found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Eureka! Eureka! The bullet hole is the contradiction. They tried to take it, someone tried to stop them, they killed them. They were scared and ran. Could be. But I think they're trying to frame Edgeworth. This is not new. People have been trying to frame Edgeworth for years. And the fact that the murderer just walked in and was like, "You did it!" What do you mean, sure? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right! However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too! Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? I mean, yeah. Definitely. By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. It's my love notes to Phoenix Wright. You're never allowed to go in there. Never! Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of my way. Roger that! Oh, wait, maybe the safe is empty, Flopper. Maybe you're onto something there. Oh, talk about dusty! I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here, to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here. I would have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when'd you put this thing in? Wasn't something I had installed personally. Prosecutor's office, every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Is it your secret prosecutor's dildo? Right now, nothing. I was using it on my trip. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Secret safe data jotted down in my organizer. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Now, this is odd. You found something, sure?
Wait, 1 fucking minute? What? I'm waiting the minute.
This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, that's one thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensics scientist.
Yes, sir?
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir.
I couldn't find, let alone lift a single fingerprint. Looks like it's been wiped down well. Tiny bit off. I see.
So somebody did enter his safe. They opened his safe, cleaned off the pad so they couldn't find his fingerprints.
As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have.
Okay. Let's save. That's nice. Alright.
Let's have a little look here. Signs of a struggle, another handgun. Wiped fingerprints.
Okay, killer's goal and wiped fingerprints?
Possibly? I believe I figured out what the murderer was after. Tried to take it, someone found them and killed them.
Yeah. I think you're onto something, Flopper.
I believed I've figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe.
So yeah, they attempted to open his safe, but there was nothing in there.
Making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe.
I may have an IQ of 2, but I can connect the dots!
I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information tell me about this crime.
Oh yeah, motive theft and signs of struggle. Maybe it wasn't a struggle, maybe he was looking for something. He's looking for evidence.
There's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
There is a book open right there too, or a file open. It may be only 3 dots, but I can connect them. I'm guessing they definitely killed him, but probably splayed out the crime scene to fit their position. Try bury the lead, you know? Not the first time we've seen something like this.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sure? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files here have been stolen.
That's what Laser said earlier. If it's ketchup, I'm gonna lose it. He just wakes up in the middle of the investigation like,
I guess, murder off, I guess?
Yeah, sure, I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even in a library.
Sure, let's give that a try.
Why do all the good ones have to die young? Especially from handsome young prosecutors, killing them with their gun, looking for evidence to get a guilty verdict. Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth.
No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And so, what are we supposed to do? Shut the fuck up.
First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help. Alright, so this file goes here, that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps you tidy, pal, okay? Done! Not because you two are smooching on the down low. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. There's another gunshot. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And the guy fell down onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm not so good with blood, sure. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. How about the gunshot? So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim. The bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine. By the way, that's a contradiction. He was standing when he was shot, and the bullet's down there in OD. So he was shot while he was hunkered over. I guess the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. So I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way? The deuce. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hands after being shot. The prints on the floor, too. Yes, Laser, yes, we did see that. One's in the thing that the bad man shot when we were held at gunpoint. And then the one that he has lodged in him. That must have been made when he was unable to stay standing. He dropped to the floor. He was shot in the balls! He was shot in the goddamn balls! Hold on, I better check everything first. I put them all back as they should be, sir. Looks like anything's missing. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Though it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through the shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Appears that the victim was in a sitting position after being shot. Oh, that's why the sheet of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. Killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See, I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, wait, I might have shed the blood on the pants thing. Well, oh well. I don't mind Mr. Edgeworth taking all the credit. Spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Eureka! There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. Sitting, got up, then collapsed. Yeah, I'm guessing he was, like, bent over, looking at OD, got shot, like, stood up to see his, his partner shoot him, had his hands there, and then he couldn't support himself, so he slumped over. He did get shot in the balls, that's true. Hey, if I got shot in the balls, I would definitely, like, stand right up, you know? Like, whoop! Like a cartoon character, like, falling into a lava pit and go, wow, 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 wow. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or laying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf after being shot.
The killer shot twice, the victim shot once. You sure the victim shot something? His gun is missing a bullet, but... we need the bullet detectors. We need to check the bullet fingerprints. Fuck. Yes, there's only one bullet missing from his gun. True. So I wonder if the bullet... But I was under the impression that the gun on the floor was the one that the killer dropped when he held Edgeworth at gunpoint. But maybe it wasn't. There definitely is 2 handguns in the situation. Unless, you know, you reloaded or something. That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf after being shot, which suggests that he was standing here when he was shot. That means... Wait, what does that mean, Cher? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, Detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole position? The position of the handprints. The position of the handprints is what's causing this problem. We wouldn't be in this dilemma if the handprints were closer to the ground. But the handprints were... where they are up top. Yes, are quite perceptive. Which is why this is not a viable hypothesis. Oh, so it was just a what if? Then what's the right answer? You still can't figure it out? Then let me explain. Yes, please, sir. Guess he didn't notice the slip-up, although at this point I shouldn't be surprised. Oop, I got a knock on my door. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Delivery! My Astrobot came in the mail. I literally just got it. My dad just handed it to me. I'm opening it live. Yeah, Astrobot. Ooh, it's still in its plastic case. Awesome. Did I get a poster with this? We want to see. I mean, I guess I can take a picture, but it's just the game. Get this damn plastic off! I'm really excited to play this. Astrobot more important. The game is not in its fucking holder! What the hell? Ooh, it smells really good. Oh, that's that new game smell. Ooh, is this the poster? What the hell is this? Whoa! It's like a little comic? Whoa! Oh, that's so cool! Oh, wow! So it's a nice, like, poster, and then on the back it's got a Astrobot comic. Aw. Ain't that nice? Okay, I'm gonna try to find any PlayStation references on here. Well, he's just like going through space, he kills the big alien. No, it's just like a bunch of Astrobots working in there. I'm gonna hang this up and then I'll take a picture of it, okay? So a Pokemon Twitch integration? my room doesn't really have any good places to hang things, but I have a corkboard, so I'm gonna put it there. Okay, and now let me move this fan so I can actually take a photo of it. POV Amazon. Okay. sorry, Ace Attorney fans. I'll be back in a second. Just gonna take an astronaut break. You know how it is. Ah. Oh my god, my hand's so shaky. There we go. That's a good picture. What were we playing again? I don't know. Oh my god, there's so much room on my little bedside desk when there isn't a big fan in the way. Okay. I'll clean my room up later. It's fine. Alright, let me post it on the Discord and then I will show it on stream. Oh, this music is so good. There we go. And then let me grab that. If we're gonna be the prosecutor. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Okay, let me... blending normal. So here it is. That's a little poster I got in the case. It's very cute. I love it. The game's a bit blurry. Again, my hand's very, shaky. I took like 4 pictures. Literally Amazon. Yeah, it's fine. I'll clean it up later. Okay. Also, I failed. I fucked up. It's the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position. Oh, wait. Are the files in the wrong spot? Yeah, Zealand. Zealand, you know? Position of the body? Order of the files. What's the faulty assumption that caused the problem with the bullet hole's position? I guess it's the order of the files, right? The position of the body. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. It does go from 3 to 0. Yeah, shouldn't the zeros be up where the ones are? Is that not right? Or am I missing something about math? Man, I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? Well, that's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. If that's it, then why'd he get shot in the goddamn balls? He just wanted to, you know, he wanted to eradicate any chances of children. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know the files were not in this folder when the crime occurred. So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective.
let's rearrange the file in numerical order and see what we find out. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
No kids, no balls! Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why that wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe.
Don't mind me, I'm the dead body handler.
As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. And look, now we can see the gumshoe. That made me shot, let alone the balls. I went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith.
And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim.
Why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime, but why? Well, I'm guessing the first one was maybe by the victim, and then the second one was by the culprit. That's just a guess, though. Maybe not. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to have another look. Yeah, how about, you know, the gumshoe over here? This.
What is that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. I wonder who would have put that there. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some kind of mistake. Miss Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir.
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? And what about me and my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after? Investigation complete. Oh, nice. Done. Looks like Jim was able to leave, thus the name of his killer in the end. Someone catch up, please. Edgeworth. This most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me. I mean, look at me. I'm too scared of guns. I can't even hold one without shaking. Shaking my bacon, that is.
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? That I would, if they were his words to begin with. If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it! I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. There must be some sort of flaw in his logic waiting for me to dig out. Can we tie him down and put a bamboo sprout under him? Put a bamboo sprout under him and just get a bunch of bone meal and, yeah, well, you know what happens next.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do?
Oh my god, he looks so sad there. Oh, poor Gumshoe. I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Haven't you sat through enough of Phoenix Wright's trials to know how cross-examining works? Maybe some other time. Mr. Portsman, if you're ready.
Oh, if you don't have time, you could just say so, sir.
Whoa! Mr. Portsman, logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you'd committed theft instead. A little water that drips every 30 seconds. Classic. Classic torture.
Or, you know, lock somebody in a room with no way of getting out and just, force them to play a bad game. He was probably a teacher's pet. Kill him. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be his final words that will be You intend to argue with numerous amounts of just noise? You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice as he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe's the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Yeah, well, you know, there's multiple gunshots. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I can press and present. Classic. Alright. Lime, hot sauce, pepper spray, taken and squirt him right in the eyes. That's good, that's good. Write these down. I'm not gonna go right away with this. Must object to your line of logic. Which part do you have an objection to? It's... yes, well...
Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered.
I already failed. Alright, let's press. Pressing's the main key here.
Hold it!
Hold it! You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim's the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly?
But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name.
Well, Jacques and Buddy, it just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. Talks about their victim like he was his pet. Further, he messed up the files to make it look like you committed, like you had committed theft instead.
Hold it!
I don't really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that. That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary has been cut so much that your life's gotten a little too rough to handle.
I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but
Poor thing, what an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive? No?
hold it!
Press everything. That's what I've learned. And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? Pour soda on him and make him go out in summer. No, we want to get the wasps on him. What attracts wasps more than bees? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was obviously him who wrote it. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? That, or maybe the victim was trying to, like, call for help, but I don't know. The body was covered quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. Can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir?
Not you,
true, Mr. Edgeworth.
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I do believe the detective to be the culprit.
I don't believe him. Mr. Edgeworth, please!
Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike.
Yellow jacket attractant and soda.
The bloody letters. Okay. Save here. The save system isn't as fast as the trilogy, but it's fine. Okay. It's found at 2:05 a.m. Well, yeah, the body's position was just not there.
Objection!
I must object to your line of logic. Okay, no, never mind. Maybe I should take some damage. How did it come to this? Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. After that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Well, one of the files is missing as well.
Objection!
Objection! There we go. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. I had my phone on. Oops. Excuse me? I thought a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible! What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing! The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take a file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half of an H.
Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name being written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
Makes it the work of the criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low! I can't believe a criminal tried to pin the whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsman, would you care to stick him up, as they say? Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Logic deserving of Olympic gold! I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Well, glad everyone showed cheer, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However...
What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Oh. Okay. On, off? That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Why do I sense that you still have something to say? What is he doing? Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office? One other person? He's even doing it out here. Gumshoe's so pissed. Hey, you there.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? Lady? The girl's a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Uh-oh. Security woman? Is it... Does it rhyme with cold hag? Huh? Is that Maggie? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Maggie? Aw! I'm glad we get to see Maggie again. Her and Gumshoe were hitting it off, you know what I'm saying? Maggie Simpson. I thought it was gonna be Old Bag, to be honest. Oh, she's so cute! I love this design. She's got the little... Aw. The Detective Gumshoe, sir.
Maggie.
Miss Bird is the security person on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point's that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building.
What?
If you're not the guilty party, Detective, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. You're such a bleeding heart. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. Well, it wasn't Maggie. I think you came in after we already saw the culprit. So basically, in Ace Attorney, for the first like 1 or 2 cases, you get to see who the culprit is, just as like a tutorial case. So for the first or second one, you'll know who it is, and then for the rest of them, it's gonna be a mystery. At least that's how it worked in Phoenix Wright. So at the beginning, we saw a cutscene of him killing his partner, and then he held Edgeworth at gunpoint. Yeah, it's 100% Portsmouth. You trying to joke about him? Yeah. It's fine. Just wanted to explain it a little bit. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying that she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Seems that the only way to get Miss Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Let's go.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird's the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't able to. Yep, it was stolen. Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. Unrelated like the key getting stolen by a handsome young jockey like me.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Of course we sure. We sure? Sure should. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it was a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
What about your lies? Mr. Barry's the lead portsman.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
Shut the fuck up.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean, missing?
As in it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe someone like you would be taken in by such words.
Ha! I'm not lying, sir!
If that's the case, then I would like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ha! A likely story. Where's your proof that the key was stolen and then given back to you to begin with, I bet you just forgot where you put it and found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is.
That's true. Yeah, I was about to mention that. Her luck is incredibly bad. She's around another murder. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What? You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Yeah, that's right.
Motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. Given the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive for theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. I'd say thievery. True. But why would Maggie want to steal anything in the first place? What would she have to gain from this? Gumshoe knows her from when she was a police officer, now works as nighttime security. Alright.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... Hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to shut the fuck up?
Hold it!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among many other possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? No, don't make that face. See? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we're in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? A game theory! Thanks for watching. If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say... Music Man! That since she's the only one who could have opened your office door...
Hold it!
Don't you think it's a bit too early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open that door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare one made for someone else? Well, have you know, I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would.
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors.
Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir.
Probably in a bad way, Detective. I wouldn't ask about it. We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screwed up so badly that you're literally chased off the force.
Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there.
Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I'd love to. But first, we should listen to a bit more and digest what he's saying. Press him for more information. We did do that. We did press him already. Stuck in your room using the master key. Oh yeah, wait. Master key was stolen from the security office. Oh, wait. Okay. The file's missing. Body was found at 2:05 a.m. Only one shot was fired from the gun. Safe's been wiped off. Thievery. Okay, maybe I'll present this to that.
Objection!
Mr. Portsmouth, there's a large flaw in your logic. Oh, really? I think it holds up rather well, actually. What do you think is wrong with it? Nothing. Let's move on.
This isn't like you at all, sir. Concentrate.
That was careless of me. Can't afford to do that, or the truth will slowly slip away. You're becoming a lot more like Mr. Right now. Alright, let me press that again. Thievery. Bookshelves. Detective Gumshoe wasn't the one who opened the door. Maybe we can fucking throw him into there. Oh, I can examine my thing. That's fun. Each prosecutor's badge has engraved with the number of its owner on the back. Numbers as if we're not human on the inside like everyone else. This badge's design is said to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes with authority vested in us as strict prosecutors of the law and executors of sentences, much like harsh winter frosts and blazing summer days, where it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor. But I have no interest in such frolicking, frivolous. She knows our good detective, making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. Yeah, but didn't he just say Detective Gumshoe is very famous throughout the thing? Can I say that? He did just say that Gumshoe's pretty famous in the precinct, so...
Objection!
No? Oh, man.
Hold it!
Right, yeah. Pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Anything on the key? Smash key to every office in the building. Okay, thanks, Edgeworth. It's one of the zeros. Tempt the messed up shells by wiping it to wipe down safe. I'd say thievery. This one he keeps pushing Edgeworth through on, so... This was after. She wouldn't have a motive for stealing evidence.
Objection!
Ah. It's been a while since I've been at a loss. I guess I'll press everything again. Give it another look over. The safe? I mean, what about it? Oh, only they know about them. Oh! Oh, 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 oh! Ba 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 ba!
Objection!
No, no, no. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you also must be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. No! I find it a little hard to believe that the hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor?
Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? You have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses! Why? What made you?
With that angry face all of a sudden.
It's all my fault!
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
Then that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. I'm definitely not a prosecutor, by the way.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief?
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird.
Excuse me? Sorry, I was kind of zoning out. You guys are creeping me out.
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit far in your risky profession.
What the... You're still accusing Maggie of murder? What's wrong with you, pal?
Yes and no. I mean, she'd stumble upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Oh, wait. We are getting a little flash here. So it must have happened.
But it wasn't Maggie who found him. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be as kind to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. Oh, shit. You're all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run the show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. Here, I'll rub your shoulder with my finger. You like that, don't you, big boy?
But sure, I do like that, but...
We have no choice but to accommodate this request, for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from the crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portman, we'll meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? Maggie's pretty short, isn't she? To be continued. How long have we been gone? Hour and 30 minutes? Alright, we'll go for... I don't know how long we're gonna go, actually. Maybe we'll beat the first, chapter. A basketball?
What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please, maintain your professionalism, Detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
Oh, you've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then, what now?
Looks like my life's fallen again into another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Yeah? Really, sir?
Oh, you posted the stream? Sorry, let me retweet that for you. For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mysteries surrounding my door. By the way, there's a little box under the cushion right there that looks like a file. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's...
Isn't that the Missing Zero series file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloody letters make it clear as day. Seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these Zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
That would seem so. Only the pages related to the case from 10 years ago are missing. That case from 10 years ago.
I wonder why anyone would care about such an old file.
Can we read it? Did it get added to our thing? That's our... okay. Pages pertaining to a case tried 10 years ago by my predecessor are missing. What? What's this basketball doing here?
That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
Not a single one of these sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Oh, hey, it's you.
Looks like it looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
Be sure, a murderer within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. Must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly. Post haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got your hands in. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door's always open.
Oh, gracious, I'll keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? He's the tutorial. Is everything alright? Yes, sir, if you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 54 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. I was wondering if I may speak with you a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but it's just like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing her notes with the triangle. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective?
She was under my supervision when she was on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill. So she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life's been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster.
Yep, this is the same spiel she gave, right?
And now I've even managed to be named a criminal, just when I've become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know! And just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. Ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once, I'd love to have played with him.
Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
Second thought, I don't think I'd fit in at all with them.
Thank you. I don't know if my voice acting's anywhere near professional, but I appreciate it. So when did you discover the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir!
Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep that key further inside the room, away from that window.
Always you say, except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at that time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge.
She used the master key.
Right.
It's like I'm talking to another gumshoe. Okay, okay. So was the key the only thing I had to show you?
That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor.
Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than gumshoe.
With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on just for a little bit?
I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you?
I guess not.
Second thought, they're actually on the same level.
Can I show you people? No.
Oh. What do you mean you used the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door to the prosecutor, for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir.
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly.
Forgetful Mr. Portsman. Oh, how forgetful of him.
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten the office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him.
No way! That's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come up to his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
This key was used to unlock and lock Portsman's office. 12 a.m. and 1:30. Doesn't that contradict to when it was stolen? What happened? Well, we got kicked out of the room, and now we're interrogating Miss Bird. We're not really interrogating, just getting more info.
Talking about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective.
A thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Let me think here. Oh, they don't fit together.
I can see a clear connection between these two pieces of information.
Ow! But look, it was used at 1:30, but it was stolen. The bamboo sprout. Yeah, I stuck it under him while he wasn't thinking. Yeah, the stolen key was used. Maggie used it to open his door at 12, and then she used it to lock it back up, even though it was stolen at 1.
Until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Minimalist, yet classy door made of top-quality wood.
It's kind of majestic too, fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even if Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense, a man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
I've come to make an announcement. Portsman is a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. He took his stupid-ass, prosecutor-ass, big-ass, quilly dick out and he said, my dick is this big. And I said, that's disgusting. Door's locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's the office of the High Prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Sure, I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Damn. Was there a basketball hoop? Apparently he loves playing basketball while working. Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. Can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? Okay, okay. There's still something here? I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Oh, the number? Room 1203. I take it this is Mr. Portsman's office?
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir.
Why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202?
I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd?
Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
Maybe he wanted records of a previous prosecutor's case? Tried and succeeded, Floppa. We also found the case file outside, and pages are taken. So he did actually get to steal pieces. I can think of at least 3... Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? So does that mean I can... Tried, succeeded, and is being a bitch about it. Fact. I can inspect my door too. Yeah, we did that. Well crafted, a high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know.
You'd even sleep out here, Detective, in a hallway?
Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on that stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning. Naturally. Can't go that way. There's more here? I bet the thieves not under here.
I guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway.
You expected him to be under the bed, like a boogeyman?
I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed.
Sounds to me like somebody has tried at least once before. Okay, now it's done. Hmm. 1202. These phone numbers are on a plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Whoops! Hey! These number plates slide right out!
You have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of suspicious. I don't see any signs of forced entry.
And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. A minimalist yet classy door made of top-quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break it in by force.
It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door.
Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and certain virtuous value. Well, I think. If you live up to your full potential, there's a poignant trait that anyone can admire.
I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone?
Right.
That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir.
Stole the key, used it to get in. Yeah, definitely. Laser wants a compliment? Your detective work is as sharp as ever, Laser. I mean, you should replace Detective Gumshoe, really. What's this basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be outside the next... outside? Wait, hold on. Hey, didn't this used to be outside next to the building a long time ago?
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it up himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor? Interesting. So that's just about everything looked at. So we're gonna have to put some evidence together, I believe. Let's take a little peek-see. Master key was stolen. Well, it's gotta be this, right? Maybe I just had it the wrong way around. I did have it the wrong way around. Oh my god, I did that so long ago. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. I picked up on that instantly. I just had it the wrong way around.
What? No way, pal! I mean, sir, sorry. I've been hanging out with Gumshoe a lot, you know, sleeping together. You know. It rubs off.
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Well, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I'd totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking it up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door, then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
But it is locked. But it is locked. But guess what? It's fucking locked. Your personality matches Gumshoe. I think we all have a bit of Gumshoe inside us, you know? Door's locked tight. The deuce. Eureka! This location contradicts this piece of evidence.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it at all, sir.
Mr. Gumshoe, you should try to think a little harder. Although I don't really get it myself either.
What do you mean? It's here. It is here. Finally. It was either the key or the door. There we go. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. What Miss Bird has said is true, and this is why the door was locked tight. He asked for 1202 and then got 1203. He wanted 1202 because definitely he wanted the prosecutor's book. You know, the predecessor to Edgeworth. So whoever was in that office before, he wanted that case file. Maybe it incriminates him. He's got a personal attachment to it. I don't know.
Hey, you know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means what, sir?
Either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
Oh. Oh my god. He swapped the nameplates. He swapped the fucking nameplates. They brought up that the nameplates were really easy to take out. He swapped them to get Maggie to open 1202 without her noticing. Oh my god, that's fucking genius. That's genius. He's a criminal mastermind.
She opened a different door, but how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. The prints on the number plate, and they'll tell us all we need to know.
Everything? Really? Like what, sir?
Like, well, for example, such as... well, we know for sure that the Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles.
Wow, that was amazing, sir. How'd you know?
Yeah, well. It's interesting.
Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, that's it. Now, we should get back to doing what we should be doing, and that is, we need to examine these. I guess the doorknobs, huh? Prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So what'd you find out?
There's no need for such a belligerent, nostril-flaring detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this one. That's pretty decisive.
Yeah, I'm lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Whose prints should also be on the... come on, I mean...
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of this person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean...
yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here?
How did we not notice that before?
I'm just a guy in Stibble's basement. Wait, I don't have a basement. I won't rest until I've...
Yeah, I see it. I see it. It's right here. What is this little thingy thing?
What is this?
Well, I mean, maybe make some noise? I don't know. I didn't know I had a basement, to be honest.
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up with you later. Buddy. The cotton candy in the walls. Oh! Yeah! I made that just for you, actually. So that's why it's been so cold.
Yeah, and it's from Mr. Portsman.
This basketball property of Mr. Portsman.
Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game.
Is dodgeball really a sport, though?
Although, I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
Which isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Buddy, definitely a guy. No girl calls themselves Buddy. Well, his name is Buddy. What's this? Oh yeah, it's been moved.
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game?
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a serious sweet slam dunk.
Positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take a note of this. Who names their kid Gumshoe? Well, Gumshoe's actually his last name. His first name's Dick, so, you know.
Investigation complete.
Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Hey, how so, sir? You mean with all the evidence we found?
Well, I mean, technically, anybody who names their child Richard is also naming their child Dick at the same time. I mean, my dad's name is Richard, so... Ask my grandma, I guess.
How so, sir?
A variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth!
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman? Oh, actually, that does make sense.
I knew it! That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
Is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. So we're just gonna... You know, this is how Wright got punched in the head and tased, right? We should probably settle this in court, maybe? Okay, whatever. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Oh, nice catch. Okay, looking good. You there, take care of this.
Where?
Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now.
Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Yeah, so he was trying to steal a case referring to him. If he was the last one in this office, which would make sense. The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using is that mouth of yours for now, is explaining yourself. Although, that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Let's do it. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. But first, let's press him. I know where to present, but let's press.
Hold it!
My accusation is harebrained. Idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is, after all.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. Oh, thank you, Hunter the Golden Guard. I was split in two. And that's it. Not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? That doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection?
I mean, yeah.
You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth?
Yep, first time playing. I mean, the collection just came out today, so yeah. We recently just played the trilogy of Phoenix Wright, and now we're gonna play every game. And coincidentally, this was right around the corner and the next in the timeline, so it works out great. So after this, these two, we're gonna do Apollo and then Great Ace Attorney after a little bit of a break.
Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot! Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door. Ooh.
Well, the master key, right?
Take that!
I believe you are able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger.
Of course Edgeworth would get his own game, true. Bossman's raiding with a crew of 2. Thank you, Bossman. Of course. I mean, I was so happy to play as Edgeworth for that one chapter in the last Phoenix Wright game. Of course we're gonna get an Edgeworth game.
Well, maybe you did, but only to be direct.
I've been raided.
Thank you, boss man.
You fool!
You foolish fool, full of foolhardy, foolish opinions and foolishly foolhardy games, made for foolishly foolish fools. What kind of a fool would play a foolish attorney game? Only a fool's fool of an errand of foolishness. That's right. Use your finger to direct this person to open my door with key.
Take that!
Gumshoe!
You would ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. It happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You've got quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, What if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
How do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on the doors, for example.
That's right! They do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine.
It was the basketball hoop. He missed it because of the prints on the floor.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you.
How's investigation? It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying myself. It's very fun being able to run around and have little character models like run around, even though it's basically not exactly the same as Phoenix Wright, but I mean pretty much. You're, you know, exploring everything, finding contradictions, turning over items to check for clues, you know.
It's an object perfectly suited to fit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Gah! It's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop just sitting there.
Same loop, different coat of paint.
I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman.
Though I will say, it is really nice being able to run around as a character. I like that more than just having a cursor, I'll be honest. I really like that. I don't know, it's a very little amount of control, but you know, it's something.
I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
Oops.
There are signs the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure.
I see, so that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip.
But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack.
Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense! I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he?
Yeah, that is nice. To be honest, that's the first time I clicked it, and I clicked it by accident. But that is really good. I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. This would be really great for Miss Oldbag. You know? When Miss Oldbag shows up and starts rambling, be able to actually read what she says.
And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty. I'll have you know I just washed it yesterday. In dirty water.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
Yeah? Now you're just spouting nonsense.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say?
Yeah, because I'm telling the truth here.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course.
Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right?
Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you.
After that, I was in my room the entire time.
Hold it!
What were you doing in your office?
I was doing my usual training regimen.
Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish?
Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance.
Well, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have.
With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem.
You came across a very unique gank fight in Nine Souls. I was doing my usual workouts, so you don't have a single reason to suspect me.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence.
seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find a flaw in his testimony.
Well, it's because there was a note under his door. If he was in there the whole time, he would have picked it up.
Objection!
That was a lie.
What are you talking about? How is that a lie?
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you?
By the way, there should very much be cameras in every office and in the hallway. But, you know, we gotta have a game, so we can't just have cameras see all the crimes and make this, like, a non-issue.
You were busy snooping around my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Especially after all the murders that have happened here before.
Objection!
That's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof. This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you.
Oh, yeah.
Take that!
The door.
I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. But finding nothing was the entire point.
You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah!
Further, all the prints on my office's doorknob has been wiped clean off. I can only assume it was because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office.
We know you stole into my office with the intent on stealing something from me?
That doesn't make sense, right?
What? You stole into my office? Translation error, maybe? What the... What? How does that make any sense? It's just not a common phrase? Okay. Fine.
We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said, when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
And just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of his office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world.
What?
So Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer! Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already.
As I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down as well. A little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that had been touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door.
When you get to the second game, I'll be excited to info dump all the fan translation names that got changed. Okay. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prince would be there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it here before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example? Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Yeah, even geniuses fail sometimes. I was probably too preoccupied with work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Can we watch the 2-hour fan dub of Sonic Adventure 2 plus Dark Story? Yeah, let's just go start a reaction instead. Phoenix Wright is a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife.
That's just a flat-out lie! There's no way you'd notice a note that size!
But you can't prove that, can you?
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Here we go again. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in the criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. You really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe.
Sure, yeah, sure. I'll go check out his alibi, sure. Be right back.
Yeah, we can charge him for fucking being a bitch ass.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Porchman said. The guys down in Criminal Affairs said they saw him there around 2 a.m.
Well, the body was found at around 2:05. Oh, shit. Yeah, he's really not that bad. Like, I'm sure actual detectives have made similar mistakes. Maybe not overlooking evidence, but that's kind of just, like, for gameplay reasons. Or maybe he's a better assistant than he is a detective. He's very attentive. Also, I like how his pencil on his ear is a red coloring pencil and not, like, a regular, like, number 2 or something. It's just a red pencil he got from, like, Crayola. You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. It's all I can afford, that's true. Are coloring pencils cheaper than, like, normal pencils, though? I don't know. Should ask him.
Hold it!
He had to trade it for a 3rd grader. Yeah, probably that kid from the Steel Samurai case. Cody, wasn't it? You're correct, it was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're on spot with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
I'll give you a pack of gushes for your colored pencil, kid. Listen, I really need it. Mr. Wright wants me to draw him a picture for mine. I gotta get this picture down to the precinct right away.
I really do want to watch. I mean, I don't need a watch because I have a phone, but, you know, I don't know. Watches are kind of inherently cool. I would like having something on my arm at all times, you know? It's a nice accessory. I guess if I get one, I should get a smartwatch.
Because then it is a phone at the same time.
And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly what time? At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
Try play Doom on a smartwatch. You probably can, is the fun part. Like, Doom can actually run on, like, a calculator, so it can definitely run on a smartwatch. That would be a crazy playthrough. Playing through the original Doom on, like, a fucking smartwatch or something. Like, the craziest, device. Like a leapfrog or something.
But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story.
Right. On a pregnancy test. Is that true? That's amazing.
Hold it!
As you say, however.
Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, would you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
The chip in the pregnancy test was good enough to run it. That's awesome. You ever can play Doom on a leapfrog? I used to have a leapfrog when I was a little kid. I'm really sad that I had a leapfrog and not like a Game Boy Advance or something actually cool. I mean, I had a PSP. I guess that's cool. Kind of.
But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it!
So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit?
Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sure. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
I see. Then I have the perfect alibi.
Well, isn't it plausible that you were here, held me at gunpoint, and then ran to the precinct to get your alibi?
That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi?
What's wrong? Why the sudden look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of this line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir! Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Aw. Two lovebirds being thrust apart once again. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time. And with logic. Here we go. Well, there was another detective playing second fiddle. Maybe these two. Yeah, baby! There were 2 bullets left at the crime scene. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. That's really funny. Well, we have to have like a, you know, all is lost moment, you know? However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once.
Yes, he did. He did explain logic to Gumshoe. Yes, he did. He did explain it to him. And Gumshoe wanted to hear the explanation for how to cross-examine again, but I denied him that. Meaning that it's entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been property of an entirely different person. Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Oh yeah, rearranged twice. Hopefully that's the right way around. Yep. That's so satisfying, connecting all the pieces of puzzle. Listen, Gumshoe, there's an advanced technique. I like to call it using my brain. You should give it a try. Perhaps read a book, or play a puzzle game, or I don't know. Talk to Phoenix Wright for more than 5 minutes. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. Big Boss, in your opinion, which game's better? Is the first investigation's better, or is the second one better? I'm loving it so far. I'm just curious what your opinion is out of these two ones. Whew. The second one? So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of two different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back... Objection! Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding the case. The second one's one of the best in the franchise? Ooh. Great. So you've finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth!
Sure, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sure, doesn't that cause some sort of, I don't know, contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office that night.
What do you mean, two?
Explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice, and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird into gaining entry into my office. Objection! Now you're just leading the argument! You don't have any proof that I did that! If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
Probably just had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. That's when he noticed something coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
He must have thought it was odd, so he came into the office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing.
My medal is chocolate, by the way. That's why I'm chewing on it.
This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he'd also left a fake dying message behind. He was such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then it would all be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room. This is where it gets complicated.
There was another?
Vision here. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room. And then they entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen Zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shell's getting messed up twice, and then the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
No way!
What's so funny, pal? He just got you again, for the 3rd time in a row!
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial.
Ah, circumstantial this, circumstantial that. I'll fucking circumcise you if you bring that up one more time. Too bad, I'm Jewish. Already been done. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. It would indeed render my alibi, which was withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there's still one defining point of your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. Sorry. Bad noodles earlier.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met truly was just a plain old thief, then why is it that that person is not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. We didn't see him. We don't know where he went. He ran away. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but I've already said I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here when I left. Yeah, he's trying, but he's failing. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now's the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's all that dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. I think I can already. Right out the gate, no pressing required. Your real suspect. Should be out there looking for the thief right now. May still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. When Jin came to deliver some evidence to me, I was in criminal affairs. Oh, how I wish that were true, but he was already dead by that time. Okay, no, what? But if you were there at 2 a.m. and then he was delivering it, that's what? He was already dead. Okay. The evidence itself? Okay. How many sips of water until you decide to chug the bottle? Probably around 2,000. I don't know. How many sips does it take to drink a whole bottle of water? Alright, guess we gotta press. I mean, that's definitely it. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Well, why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer was very clearly left those letters on the spines of those shelves. And it was after they were there that the thief stole one of them.
Yeah, let's just say it's like a 500 ml bottle. I wonder how many sips that would be.
You should get a bottle and just count. You mean the Giro files, right? That's how we'll also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, then do you think they would try to undermine themselves? No! Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yes, that must be it. Maybe they just, maybe... Hold it! Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. No. You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all. Hold it! But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? 34 sips?
We'll have to test your theory.
If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see, so I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. Hold it! When did you go there with Mr. Faith? That's because he said he was tired and was gonna go take a quick nap. You know, those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. What of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case, just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Oh, a gun and a pendant, you say? Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Stop taking your jacket off and putting it back on. Hold it! The music is so good. A gun and a pendant. Yep, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Oh my god, oh my god. Horse! Horse pendant, horse gun. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in the past file that I wanted to compare these two. But all this has nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. So I'm matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. me 2 items.
Objection!
No. But maybe bringing up the gun is like, well, you got another gun. Nah, that's flimsy. That's very flimsy. Yeah, I'll just take the hit. He's right for a change. Na, 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 na.
Hold it!
I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see what you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was there at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. The thief you ran into should be the real suspect. Already in your training room. Oh, 5. This can open every office door. It was stolen from the security office. I locked this door, but her prints were not found on the knob. Oh, 3 pieces of evidence.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
You fail. Kill him! Get him! Murder him!
Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman. You intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read. Carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes. And this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. Pepper spray lemon combo, get it!
Don't worry, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll go grab one of those Splatoon guns. And, well, let's go crazy.
I can't believe to get tripped up by a simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe, you don't have to...
You don't have to shake, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
Don't come any closer, I'm warning you!
It's all part of the investigation, pal. So, don't even think about stopping me.
No!
Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sure.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
Why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason that anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would be unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. The KG-8 incident. KG-8 incident.
That's your police number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. Oh, there's blood on it.
That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No, you've got it all wrong. That's different blood from a different murder that I may have committed. I mean, no amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you'd received evidence from the victim earlier. Now, you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way into this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the time of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know, very well, there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. No! I forgot to wipe it down again! Oops! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderers, you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! Oh, he just swallowed his... He swallowed his medal. What? Okay, last time I checked the time, it was 51 minutes in. Now it's 2 hours later? We've been streaming for 3 hours? What the hell?
Mr. Porchman's been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
So, no court case. Huh, well. That was quick. Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
No, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean.
Right in the middle of the stream. Oh, you guys are over the dialogue, sorry. I can put you up a little bit. Maybe like right there. Somebody say something. Is that a better spot? Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a better spot. It's kind of hard to read on the yellow. And you can't see the badges.
I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
You tell me I should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Porchman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
Now, why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There was even rumors about some of the evidence he uses being forged, sir.
The Sonic Adventure 2 fandom? No, we're not gonna watch the Sonic Adventure 2 fandom. I have already seen some of it. I mean, you're welcome to go watch it yourself, but I'm not gonna just stream a reaction to it. We got Astrobot to play, which is gonna be very soon, because we're gonna do a double stream. I was just waiting for the end of this first chapter. It would be funny. You're right. I don't know, I don't really do reaction stuff. I mean, the only reaction stuff we do is, like, to directs or video game news. I don't know. I don't know what I would even add to it, really.
They say he decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
I never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, well, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
But we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
It's just between you and me, sure, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Well. Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Then Mr. Porchman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that. Rather, that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, We still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages?
Gumshoe, that was my line. You will refrain from taking my lines again. Not again. Not for another entire game.
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gets blended into the evidence thingy. Yeah, it's hard to put you guys somewhere good. Usually bottom left is a good spot, but I guess it's better to be above the text box. Right? I mean, I could make you guys smaller. I don't know.
I wonder who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
Yeah, I could do that, but I like having the full thing just be the game. I don't like when games are like squashed into a corner. That's why I decided against that. I mean, I've been streaming for 3 years. It's definitely crossed my mind, but I prefer just having the whole game as the screen. I need the chat on screen, though, because, you know, when it gets converted to a VOD, it will sound like I'm just fucking batshit insane if I'm talking to myself and you can't see the texts I'm reacting to.
This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of a raven, a three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu.
Come on, we couldn't tie it back to mask to mask. Make the game 2 pixels, then have a camera and have that be the entire screen. Then put chat behind the camera so you can't be read. It's a good idea. Write that down, write that down.
Another mark of a legendary bird, Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood.
Is that Phoenix, right? No. It's not gonna be. It's not Phoenix, right? No way. It does bear a little bit of a resemblance, just a little bit, with the spikes.
Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with a single card. Although it's been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
Is that actually a language on there, or is that just gobbledygook?
The person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in my mystery. Murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
Okay, that's a bit slow. Can I change that? Wait time, 1 second. High UI elements. Text skip. Enable speed through unread text. Yes? Will that make it so I can, like, have all the text just appear in one box and not go tick, 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 tick? The end. Oh, there we go. First chapter done. Turnabout visitor. And then we can always check history if it's important. All right. Well, let's at least see the start of the next episode, but I think that's where we're going to start Astrobot. And leave this for another day. Ooh, nice. Oh my god. Okay, Von Karma's coming back right off the bat. Right off the rip, we're getting Von Karma. Okay. Ooh, Gumshoe. Do the whole thing in one stream. How long is this game, actually? Is it longer or shorter than a Phoenix Wright game? Guys, I would love to, but we've already been streaming 3 hours, and I promised I'd do Astrobot as well. Murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's about the same? Okay. So it's gonna be about like 8 streams, 7 streams. For each game. Luckily there's only 2 this time. What the fuck? Oh. Why? Go you! Go you! Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise.
Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts.
Is that Dr. Robotnik? Oh my god! Oh. Oh. Edgeworth was just scared because it's like an earthquake. He just fell unconscious because he still got PTSD. That's what happened, right? Here lies Hugo Hughes. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13. Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence indeed. I think he died.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight delays. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
Suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Yep, that's exactly what happened. What's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine, and I accidentally dropped it in the blood. Or the wine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? My head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. An elevator in an airplane? What kind of fucking bougie-ass shit is this? What am I doing hesitating like this? Earthquake, elevator, blood, weird travel wallet. Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still a young child. Oh, we're gonna get this as well? Alright, well, for you who don't know, I guess we'll go through this. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. How long am I... Oh, really? That was it? In 2 and 3, he went through the entire backstory every single time it was brought up. That time it was a sentence. It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I have to behave like one. Oh dear. What the... What in the world happened?
Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you return to your seat. He's dead!
please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! What? No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. Already suspected as murderer again. Oh my. Look at that guy. Some sushi platters, lots of alcohol. March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. Oh my god, the little fucking German kid with... Okay. Is that a Dreamcast? Is that supposed to be a Dreamcast right there?
Everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I'm one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Unfortunately, we've just had a minor accident on this flight.
An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse. It was murder. Murder? What's going on this flight?
Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We're still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we're out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you remain seated.
But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off.
Please, there's no need to feel threatened. We've already apprehended the culprit.
Yeah, Edgeworth is tied up down there. Pissed off. A big book of the law, some tea, and a chessboard. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Oh, why should we remain calm? My name's Miles Edgeworth, and I'm a prosecutor. I assure you that I'm not the killer. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. Now, you listen here. I'm not the killer. I simply found the body.
So you say. However, I'm sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. It's not me. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant.
Self-report. I mean, come on. Edgeworth, right after the last case where a prosecutor killed somebody, it's a little ironic, you know. Was that right?
I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up.
Okay, so are you the murderer now? What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about?
We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation.
Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine, the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I'm accused of murder. Miss Tenero, was it?
Yes.
I was wondering if you might give me a chance.
A chance to do what?
A chance to plead my case, and a chance to ask what you mean by incriminating evidence just now.
No, sorry.
To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous? Oh, it might be the captain then. It might definitely be the captain.
Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick.
Of course. As you wish.
Good. Very well then. Let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit, and how the crime really occurred. So we're hopping right into one. Right into a testimony. Well, once we get to a free spot where we can walk around, we'll leave it there.
I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you're the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon.
That was... I dropped it in wine.
So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
That's it? That's her evidence?
I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Rebuttal! It was a travel wallet.
Objection!
Mr. Nero. What's with all the yelling all of a sudden? Force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Nero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yeah, all that blood. Drip, 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 drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this.
You know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Mr. Nero.
What? Impossible!
Now then, do you still think I'm the killer? That I killed them with a travel wallet?
But I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice. Grape juice aged in a wine cellar.
Then,
That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist.
no!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation.
Wait just a second. My Minecraft blocks on my back of my head, they say that you're incorrect. That is, I mean, even a wallet could be as deadly if it was wrapped around with something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside, please.
It's trembling. And the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light.
No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself.
She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. It's just a brick. Mr. Nero, if you'd be so kind to open the wallet and check its contents for me.
All right. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here.
Open that baby up! It seems that this passport is all that's in here. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot.
Yeah, but it's gonna be his passport. It's gonna be the victim's passport, isn't it?
Clear as day. Wouldn't you agree?
Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly?
Ah, fuck.
Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is...
Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Acby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property.
Sorry. Nationality... What? Let's say his nationality is Borgina? What? What? I want to look at the passport. Magazine. Okay.
You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you?
How dare you?
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you.
Now that's a self-report. Ace Attorney uses it frequently. Have they used it before this point? I don't remember it. Maybe they've said it before and I just didn't say anything. It's a funny name. Or maybe I did say something and I just forgot. Who knows? I'm silly.
Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you're done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you?
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene and the victim's wallet in your hands. How could I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play?
Oh, really? So this is the first game Borgina was presented in? I love Borgina. Murder weapon is not the travel wallet.
However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. It's hard to believe that your motive is very simple.
Hold it!
Shouldn't that be proof enough for you that I didn't murder the victim?
Not at all!
No, and why not?
Because that wallet may not have been what I thought it was. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed.
Hold it!
You think I stole it?
Yes, I'm very sorry to say it. I wouldn't usually be so rude, but it must be said. I never thought I'd see the day, but here I am, calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put a serious face on and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage.
It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I'd like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks' wallet.
Hold it!
I don't think I have any sort of motive to speak of. I've never met Mr. Hicks before, and our only connection is this one flight.
But that's more than enough for a reason.
How do you figure?
He was sitting in first class, and I think his implication is quite clear.
Hold it!
You think I was after his money? Where'd you get that cockamamie idea from?
True, you're also a passenger in first class, but I thought something was off about you and those deeply etched lines on your forehead.
Are they really that deep? I'm not even that old. I'm only like 30. They're not lines. They're perfectly normal and a part of my natural face.
I don't think I've ever met someone with such a terrible countenance on a flight before.
What the... You... wench.
That's when it hit me. You have the face of someone with money trouble.
She really is making a fool of herself, pursuing this line of logic. Yeah, you're probably right. I should spare her and present the piece of evidence that contradicts her testimony. Do I have to present my fucking, my prosecutor's badge because I get paid the big bucks? I can't be the murderer. I get paid the big bucks.
Objection!
Take a good look at this and it'll prove my innocence.
Is that a prosecutor's badge?
Oh, no. Well, say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll take a good look, but no matter what angle I look at it from, I don't see how it will prove you didn't do it. Oh.
That would have been funny if that was the key. Well, the wallet was empty.
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero.
What is it now?
Miss Tenero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
Simply put, as you saw with your own eyes, the only thing inside Mr. Hicks' wallet was his passport. If I really was after his money, then why would I steal a penniless travel wallet?
But that's right, Mr. Edgeworth, you didn't know it was empty when you stole it.
I'd like to think that, but that's not possible.
What do you mean it's not possible?
There's no way the killer didn't know what the wallet was empty to begin with.
No, and what makes you so sure?
How can I show her that the killer knew the wallet was empty from the get-go? Because there's money all over the floor?
Take that!
If you would recall the crime scene, I admit the wallet was probably not empty at the time of the murder. That's pretty evident by the bills and cards strewn around inside the elevator.
Oh no!
I think you've come to realize the problem with your logic. I would surmise that the victim's wallet fell out during their struggle, and that's when its contents emptied onto the floor of the elevator. I doubt the killer could have missed such an occurrence.
But then you're saying...
Yes, according to your supposition, if I were to be the killer, I would have been going after a wallet I knew to be empty.
Oh my god, this music is going so crazy hard!
And since I clearly was not attempting to gather the scattered money, it renders your argument of theft completely invalid.
Please forgive me!
Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong?
Who is that guy? Whoa. That character design is insane.
Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please just be fucking quiet for a second? Miss Tenero,
Yes?
you lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark and looking into the light from the elevator. It's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you for releasing me. Oh, I mean, I thank you for me releasing you. And,
Yes, that's quite enough. What is it now? Mr. Nero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I said that he's giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just as well, see? You, the attendant.
Oh my god, he's such a goofy little guy. I mean, this is the killer, right? This is the killer right here. He's Virginian. He's wearing a funny coat. He's got funny music.
Yes, sir.
I want this person to be under arrest until we arrived at the airport, so he can't find the real killer, me.
Now he's rubbing his gold thing. Does he have his pot tucked in with the seatbelt? What?
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for?
What is it you want? I'm finished talking to the likes of you.
Please, I would like to hear why you would have me held under arrest until we land.
How dare you waste my time?
You're the one who stuck your nose into my affairs.
I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent, yes. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English.
Well, I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I think that's what he meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name.
I am Zinc Leblanc. Zinc Leblanc number 2. I am a very wealthy man in Bohemia. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I'm an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty.
License to love. Laugh, maim, and murder. Okay.
Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now?
Pardon?
When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout.
I have to explain. Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say.
Yes, and yet you continue to blather on and on.
I saw it, yes I did. I saw the victim go into the elevator with me and a knife, but you know, going down to the lounge. It was exactly 6 o'clock.
I love his face. It's so goofy.
And what's the significance of that time?
At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6?
Ah, what's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see. Let me look at this little stopwatch right here. Yep. Definitely, it was definitely 6 o'clock. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I'd say around 6:15. Oh!
Hicks was his name, wasn't it? Yeah. Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. The only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, yes?
Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. Or wine, as, you know, everyone ever has called it.
I was still eating. I still haven't finished, see?
The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this, right?
There's no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point. It wasn't me.
Oh, so you say. But do you have, what you say, the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. Leblanc, I suppose you're quite certain of what you saw. Enough to give testimony?
Of course, I was looking at the man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little small machine the whole time.
Machine?
Yes, that's what you people call it in English, right? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click.
That description sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe Mr. Leblanc is talking about his cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
Simple cell phone? A laptop or an organizer I can see. But that's kind of low budget.
I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it's produced is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw.
Mr. Tenero. Oh, sorry. Miss Tenero.
Yes? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, there is no Mr. Tenero yet.
Anyways, I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit.
I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English.
It's fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Mr. Nero, if you wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. He was playing Jetpack Joyride.
Bow, bow, bow. Boop, 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 ba-doop. Boop, 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 ba-doop, boop. Bow, boop, 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 ba-doop.
I think that's Subway Surfers, or at least a little bit of the tune.
Hey. This little statue needs more rubbing.
I understand. Let's see what the captain has to say.
Not even close? Yeah, you're probably right.
This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. Leblanc, it's an emergency. All decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you're doing your investigation, yes?
Of course not.
We'll see.
Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable!
I'm in your debt, Mr. Nero.
However, there's one condition. I'm to supervise you. Can you agree with that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural as I am still a suspect in this case.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed?
Look at how mad he's getting right now.
If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to talk with Triangle.
It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. Sweet. Yay! Yeah, so we get a partner every case. I like that. Oh my god, you're... Okay, we're gonna have to talk to that... woman, next time. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Have fun! I mean, we love fucking Phoenix right here. Ace Attorney. It's looking to be a very eventful series. So yeah, we're gonna do this game and then its sequel in close succession, mixed in with all the other stuff that's happening this month. We got Persona happening next week. We're about to play Astrobot. And then after, we'll take a break, and then we'll do Apollo and Great Ace Attorney. And that's about all the Ace Attorney games we have on hand. Not the Professor Layton game, but other than that, that's all the Ace Attorney games that we've played. You want more? Well, listen. We got Astrobot to play, okay? And there will be more. Of course. Of course we're going to continue. Don't worry. We'll be back probably Monday. I'm going to do some more of this game. And then we'll see where we go from there. We got plenty more to enjoy. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Hunter the Golden Guard, if you're still here. And yeah, everybody else who tuned in. And Big Boss, of course, for the raid. I'll see you all in a second. Yeah, so we're about to go right up with Astrobot for the live people. If you want to tune in for that, stick around. If not, I'll see you later. Thank you for enjoying Ace Attorney and all VOD Frogs. Thank you for all the love. The YouTube channel is doing great right now. I really appreciate all of you. Okay, see you later, guys. And see everybody live in just a few minutes.